Welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back with you for episode 139. 139 times I've come your way to provide you with maybe the best podcast in the world. I don't know. Some are saying that. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the watches. Appreciate the listens. So thank you. If you guys could, you know the deal, a little housekeeping here. If you could rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Let somebody know Ole Walls House is the place to be. But thank you very much. A big thank you to MJ, who was with us the last 4 weeks previewing the NFL season. We went division by division. If you didn't catch some of that, go back and check it out. Great stuff. MJ really does a great job. So also a big thank you to producer Kevy, as always. Just want to thank him for helping me get the video portion of this off the ground. And that's all about the thank yous I got for that. So moving forward this week, we got a fun one. We got college football to talk about. The NFL is right around the corner. Baseball is still going. Golf wrapped up their season at the Tour Championship. So a lot of fun stuff. So without any further ado, let's just get into it.
Football. College football was back in full this weekend, and it was fun, man. It was fun. There weren't a ton of like crazy good games, but I don't know, man. I loved it. It was awesome. Let's just run down the scoreboard real quick. Talk about anything we need to, kind of mention. We had some week 0 stuff last week. Just top 25 games. Georgia looked incredible against Clemson. Clemson hung in there for a little bit. What was it? Was it the second half? Yeah, the second half is when it got out of control. It was only 6-0 at halftime, and then just they had no answer in the second half for Georgia. Just spinning through well. Florida absolutely gets dominated by Miami rather. Most of the other top 10 teams, top 15, top 25. Oklahoma big win. Ohio State blows out Akron. Alabama just demolishes Western Kentucky. Ole Miss with a big win. Michigan beats Fresno relatively convincingly, but kind of let them hang around. The probably the best games of the top 25 teams so far. Notre Dame goes into Texas A&M and comes out with a big 23-10 victory. It was 6-6 at halftime there, and then Notre Dame scores a couple times in the second half to pull away. And then, where am I? USC and UCLA. USC scores with barely any time left on the clock to go up 27-20. They had scored twice in the last 6 minutes to pick up the most impressive win thus far in the very, very early college football season. Penn State, my Penn State Nittany Lions, they got out early on West Virginia after a scoreless first quarter. They scored 20 points in the second, and a game that was off to a weird start. We had fumbles by both teams out of the shotgun right away. Drew Aller was not ready for a snap that came to him, and then on the very next play, West Virginia was running a little wide receiver motion and mistimed it. The wide receiver runs into the snap, and we had a fumble right back. So, yeah, and Penn State had scored. They scored at right end of the second quarter. About 7 minutes later, they scored again, and then they added one right at the end of halftime. That was a big one. They scored right at the end of halftime. They ran like a little draw play, then went deep a couple times. Harrison Wallace III, Trey Wallace, I believe is what they call him, had himself a day. That was a little bit of a question for this team was, how are the receivers going to be? It seems like Drew Aller, who only threw 2 interceptions last year, there was plenty of conversation last year about him being able to push the ball down the field. The arm talent wasn't really the question. It's whether they would do it or not. It worked in West Virginia. West Virginia team that if you heard about them in the lead up to the week, that they were going to be a good team, maybe an underrated team. Maybe this wasn't going to be a spot that Penn State just came in and walked all over them. That didn't seem to be the case. The Penn State offense looked good. The Penn State defense looked pretty good. Abdul Carter and Tony Rojas looked great. Abdul Carter, much smaller than I remember him. Like, he's just kind of a thin little guy, but the speed off the edge, and then Tony Rojas, a guy who's really something. You also have the kind of the two-headed monster at back for Penn State, and Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. Singleton ran for 114 yards on 13 carries. Drew Aller, just 17 throws, but completed on 11 of those for 216. He also ran for another 44 yards. Katron Allen got 10 touches, only 20 yards, but did have a nice reception that he turned into a touchdown as well. The ball got spread around a decent amount, as much as it can for just 11 completions. 5 to Trey Wallace, a couple to Omari Evans, number 5. That's me. Tyler Warren, the tight end, who I think a lot of people are expecting some good things from, will down the line. He caught 3 balls, one of those for a touchdown. That one, I believe, was when Bo Prabula came into the game and threw the one touchdown. Defensively, Tony Rojas, a couple tackles, and then, where's Abdul Carter? Just one tackle, but Abdul Carter, a couple of times, was so deep into the backfield that help had to come, or he really blew up a corner that it was really good. So, it was a good first game for Penn State, man. I'm ready to be hurt. I'm ready to be hurt with this team, because I think there's possibilities that this could be a good team. They return, I think, 16 of their starters from last year. A lot of the main guys, obviously, Aller, Singleton, Katron Allen, Abdul Carter, Tony Rojas, like the guys I've mentioned. Trey Wallace is back. So, there's possibility here. There's a new offensive coordinator, the guy from Kansas. I'm losing his name here. It wasn't all, roses. I mean, defensively, they looked good. The offense looked good. There were a couple question marks. I mean, like I said, Katron Allen, 10 touches, 20 yards, not ideal. I don't think their kicker's very good. I think that's been brought up, so we got to worry about that. And maybe West Virginia wasn't the test that everybody thought they were. Only time will tell, and teams can kind of morph throughout the year. So there's going to be a stretch in the season for Penn State where it's going to be really do or die. Let me pull up when that is. It's in October. It's when they face. I think they've got USC, UCLA. Or here we go. So October 5th they host UCLA. October 12th they go to USC. They have a week off. October 26th they go to Wisconsin. November 2nd, Ohio State comes to town. And then November 9th, Washington comes to town. So I think UCLA kind of stinks, but it kind of is like the kickoff to all this. And I don't think Illinois is supposed to be that bad. Illinois is right there. So, I mean, there is a stretch right there in the middle. Illinois, UCLA, USC, at Wisconsin. That's going to be a big one. They're probably not going to beat Ohio State. It's just what it is. I mean, if Fox gets their way, that game probably goes on at noon anyway. It's in November. The Big Ten doesn't love putting night games on in November. So, I mean, the game's probably at noon. I mean, have they announced what the whiteout game is? It's probably Illinois. I would bet it's Illinois, which sucks. And we're getting there. Military appreciation. Illinois is homecoming, so no. UCLA is the stripe out. Ohio State is the helmet stripe, which is essentially just a whiteout. Washington will be the whiteout. Interesting that they didn't just make Ohio State the whiteout. Probably want to bolster the whiteout record, because it's always Ohio State and we always get our fucking asses kicked. But all in all, a weekend I'm happy from Penn State. They went out and did business. The offense looked better with the new coordinator. Time will tell if that holds up. We've thought that before. Drew Aller came out and torched West Virginia last year. And then, the rest of the season happened. And it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't bad. It's just a weird spot where we're at with Penn State, where it's like, it's not spectacular, it's not bad. It's like, oh, God, do we want to live there forever? I don't know. Hopefully this year's different. 12-team playoff. Penn State would have been in at 6 of the last 8 years or something like that. Maybe 5 of the last 8. Let's just find a way not to finish fucking 13th. Well, it's actually 11, because then there's the extra conference champion out there that could be the 26th ranked team if it fell that way. So get in that top 11, top 12, whatever you want to call it, and see if you can do something. Maybe host a fucking playoff game. That would be cool. Next week, what do we got? Texas, Michigan to lead us off. Texas goes to Michigan. That should be fun. That should be a lot of fun. Penn State's got Bowling Green. This is like my problem with college football, is to like why I like the NFL better. So Penn State's got Bowling Green this weekend. They don't play the weekend of the 14th. The 21st, they have Kent State. And so it's September 28th is their next game where it feels like it's meaningful at all. So a month between games where it feels like it's worth it. And, Bowling Green and Kent State. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to watch. I'm going to have the fucking TV on. I'll be flipping back and forth. I'll actually go 2 TV setup. Penn State may actually get the little TV for Texas, Michigan. But it's like, I have to wait till September 28th for a game that I feel like matters. Just, I don't know. I don't get it. I do get it. You got to play the game. Eddie, you got to play the games. You play to win the games. What else we got next week? This is the other issue with, like, college football. It's like, man, what other games are there? And obviously, every game turns into a chance to turn into a good game. Tennessee heads to NC State. That is the 6:30 game, 7:30 for those of you on the East Coast. But yeah, the slate's a little rough outside of that. Boise State goes to Oregon. I know that's a Boise State team that a number of people have penciled into making the playoff. Baylor heads to Utah. I don't think Baylor's very good, though. Yeah, so that's really it. That's my problem. That's the top 25 teams. And obviously, someone can sneak into the top 25 that wasn't already there. I'm just double checking if. The Nebraska kid. Nebraska kid. What was his name? Dylan Raiola. Apparently, he was having quite the day for himself. I saw a couple of the highlights. Just a couple other things around college football. So much fun to have game day back, and just you get in Saturday morning. I walk the dog. I get back. I flip on game day. It was nice and cool this Saturday morning. It was a little chill in the air. Game day was on. Nick Saban seems to be very good at this. Seems to be enjoying it. He's got McAfee taking his shirt off next to him. I don't know how he's going to handle that all year. Couple things related to the games and other things about them. First of all, I am so over these stupid neutral site games early in the year. Just schedule home and homes, man. Just 1 year play at one place and 1 year play at the other. Like, how much better would that game if USC and LSU have been had it been at fucking the Coliseum or had it been in Baton Rouge? But no, it's in Vegas, and it's like, cool. I think Miami and Florida, I think, was the same way, right? But I think it was the same. No, that was at the Swamp. Which was made it better. Like, just do away with these stupid early year neutral site games. Like, Penn State went to West Virginia. Last year, West Virginia went to Penn State. Do that. I know. I'm barking up the wrong tree. I do want to say this too. ESPN, ABC, whatever the broadcast is between those two, they handle the big game so much better. Like, I don't know what it is about it. Like, the game feels more important when it's an ESPN, ABC game, especially if it's on in the evening. They just have a better presentation. They have a better handle on it. It helps that you have Chris Fowler and Reese and Kirk Herbstreit. Like, those are the GOATs of college football right now. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's the best broadcast team there is. And I don't know. They just handle it so much better. Penn State ended up getting delayed, so I didn't have, like, the feel of how it finished. But Penn State had just went to halftime. And granted, they scored late, and there were more scores in that game. But the game, the Clemson-Georgia game, was in the third quarter when Penn State went to halftime. Somehow Fox just, like, inserts more timeouts. And their games it feels like half hour to an hour longer every week. And it annoys the ever-loving piss out of me. So, Bowling Green next week for Penn State, Texas, Michigan, and then we have the nightcap, Tennessee, Rocky Top, and the Wolfpack, NC State. Fun week in college football. I'm excited. I love football, and we're here. While I'm talking football, why don't I just do this? Why don't I just talk quick NFL matchups in preview of next week? Obviously, we get Ravens-Chiefs to start us off, and then Packers-Eagles on Friday. I love it. More football, please. The NFL is going to work to put a game on every fucking day of the week before you know it. But just a couple other games I'm kind of looking out for. Bengals-Patriots, I'm interested to see how Joe Burrow looks. Titans-Bears is one. Caleb Williams, what's he going to look like? Jags-Dolphins is just, I think, an interesting football game. Are the Jags going to bounce back? What do the Dolphins look like? Dolphins usually look good early in the season. Steelers-Falcons is a game that could provide some interest as well. Then we move to the afternoon. We got a nice 4-game afternoon slate. Cowboys-Browns. Tom Brady going to be announcing, so that one should be fun too. I think that should be a good game. Interesting to see what we'll get out of the Browns. Raiders-Chargers. I don't know what to expect out of either team there. Don't know what to expect out of either team, but could be intriguing. Sunday night, Rams-Lions. Matt Stafford heading back to Detroit again. Can the Lions build upon last year? I don't know, but it's a fun week. It's a fun week one. You got a stinker game. You got the Vikes and the Giants too. So, man, I'm pumped. I am pumped up. Week 2, we already followed the just 3 afternoon games. Oh, God, I love football. You settle myself. You settle down just a bit. So, yeah, I think I'm going on football. I think. All right, let's just move on to the next. Cleveland Guardians picked up a win yesterday over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Series win for them. Cleveland back up to 3.5 games ahead of the division, which is good. Need that with heading to Kansas City. But the Twins are also 3.5 back. So stop me if you've heard this before. Important week. Luckily, the Twins and the Royals are going to beat up on each other a little bit over the weekend. So beat the shit out of the Royals and then root for the Royals is kind of the way it seems. Couple of notes. I didn't watch a ton this week. Just was a crazy week. Monday, I was flying and Cleveland got beat in a doubleheader. They're like 0-17 in their last doubleheader games or something like that, or maybe like 1-17. Oh God, terrible. Friday and Saturday, I was doing stuff. Sunday, I saw the whole game, or most of the game. I missed the first inning or two. It was fantastic. Alex Cobb was dealing. Is that his name? Alex Cobb, right? I think it's Alex. Cobb is his last name. It does start with, yes, Alex Cobb was dealing 6 perfect innings. The perfect game is broken up in the 7th when he takes a line drive right back at him and can't get it up. Can't get up off the ground afterwards, and a little bit of a scary moment because this pitching rotation needs some depth. He turns out to be okay, gets hit in another game, they bring him out, and just fantastic. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs. Need a lot more of that from the pitching staff, and if Alex Cobb, a guy we went and got, can provide that would be fantastic. Scored plenty of runs in this series. 6 Sunday rather. I'm recording Monday. 4 home runs, was it? Yes, 4 single home runs. Andres Jimenez, Jose Ramirez, and then Kyle Manzardo, back up from the minors, hits 2 home runs, his first and second career MLB home runs. Getting a little production out of a guy like Manzardo coming back would be huge as well. So a big matchup tonight. Gavin Williams, who has been just not good this year, he's 2-7 with an ERA at 4.99. He is going up against Michael Wacha. The Manzardo back in the lineup tonight at DH. So they're going Quan, Himi, Jose, Josh Naylor, Johinski Noel, Manzardo, Lane Thomas in center, Bo Naylor at catcher, and Rocchio at short. That's a nice lineup, man. That's a nice lineup if you can get some production out of that. There's some bats in there. There's some lefty bats. There's a couple righty bats. Do something with it. Be somebody. Cleveland 5-5 in their last 10 now. Obviously, their last 10 includes getting just dog kicked by the Royals through there and just winning one of those games. So, won the last series. That's the important thing. Had won the series against the Rangers before that. Then we go back to the Yankees where they dropped a couple and the Brewers who beat the shit out of them. I think we're back. I think that's about as far back as I left off with you. So, home stretch here. Home stretch just this month. There's, what's their record? There's how many games left? The standings. 78-59. Don't make me do math. So 80-60 would be 140. Get 3 out of there's 37. So 25 games left. And just looking at some of the games coming up, Royals for 3 games this week, followed by the Dodgers for 3 games. That's going to be a tough series. The White Sox, we've had our number, but suck ass. 107 losses. 107 losses, I think. Yes, 31 and 107. Like 6 of those 31 wins have come against Cleveland. The Rays, nobody to scoff at. The Twins, who are obviously coming in, trying to sneak into the division. They are a wild card team at the moment. The Cardinals, who aren't great, but they aren't terrible. The Reds, who aren't great. And then the Astros, who I think have kind of bounced back a little bit and are kind of creeping around. Yeah, they are winning that division by 6 games. They did more than bounce back. They're a division leader and will be in the playoffs. So not the easiest stretch coming home for Cleveland. Like, you got to buck up. Be men about it. All right, let's move on. Talk a little golf, shall we? Scott Scheffler, yet another win. Scott Scheffler finishes the year with just one more win. Why not? Couple of Scottie Scheffler stats here. 2024, 20 starts, 8 wins, 17 top 10s, wins the Masters the second time, wins the Players the second time, wins the gold medal, wins the FedEx Cup, is world number 1 for every week of the year, gains over 3 shots around strokes gained, wins $62.2 million, was sent to jail during a major and became a father. That's a hell of a year for Scottie Scheffler. Fewest days between 1st and 13th PGA Tour win. Johnny Miller, 1,225 days. Tiger Woods, 1,113 days. Jack Nicklaus, 1,029 days. Scottie Scheffler, 931 days. Scottie did it in 60 events. Jack in 63, Tiger in 64. Wowzer. Here's the fun thing. Tiger won his next 13 after that, so he won 14 through 26 in the next 518 days. So Scottie has until February 1st of 2026 to win 13 more times. Schedule's set up a little different now, so that's not really realistic because he's not gonna win basically 13 times. 11 times next year and 2 times in the first couple weeks. But very, very funny kind of thing to just point out. Scottie Scheffler, if you break his $62 million down per tournament, that's $3.3 million, $830 per round, $12,000 per shot, and if you assume a 4.5 hour round, $3,000 per minute on the golf course. Whew. Just what a year for Scottie Scheffler. What a year. Just so impressive. Hard to understand. And at the same time, you can easily say that Xander Scheffler had the year you'd rather have for golf history. 2 majors. Scottie has 1. But he has the Players. He has the Olympics. He has the FedEx Cup. So it's like if you add all them up, are they worth another major, like in your mind? Who knows? But it got a little weird for Scottie out there at one point. I wasn't watching yet, but he had just made a bogey on the 7th hole and just cold shanked one on the 8th. He hit it into a greenside bunker, cold shanked it, makes bogey. And I believe on that same hole, Morikawa had made birdie. Scottie started a 4 up. Morikawa was 2 under. Scottie was 1 over. So maybe started 5 up. Whatever. It got down to 2. Scottie responded that by making birdie on 9, birdie on 10, birdie on 11, and then eagling 14. Collin Morikawa played that stretch 2 under and gave up 3 shots. Fun stuff trying to chase down Scottie Scheffler. So Scottie Scheffler caps off just a phenomenal year. Sahith Theegala finishes 3rd. He called a penalty on himself, 2 strokes. Had he played everything out and played it out the same, he would have finished in a tie for 2nd and added something like $3.5 million to his bankroll. Russell Henley shoots a Sunday 62. vaults himself up 9 spots. That made him some money. Xander Schauffele, T4, just another solid event from Xander. I think he chipped in or made a long putt on the last hole to jump up into a tie for 4. That was like $1 million gone from Russell Henley and Adam Scott right away. Someone, that was, we were keeping our eye on, Keegan Bradley. Not the best weekend. 69, 74, 71, 68. So that turns out to be a total of 2 under on the weekend. But he started at 6 under and finished T21. I think with another good performance, he would have made the President's Cup team. So that's too bad because he had won the BMW Championship with a final round 72. Held off a charging Sam Burns, who finished second there. Tour Championship, Sam Burns finishes T12. Probably makes his way onto the President's Cup team. We'll push that one over there so I got a little brighter screen. President's Cup. The automatic qualifiers for the President's Cup. Scottie Scheffler in first, Xander Schauffele in second, Colin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark, Pat Cantlay, Sahith Theegala are the auto qualifiers. Here, I can share the screen here. Let's just pop this up here for you so you're seeing. I think that's the one. That's the one we're looking for. Sam Burns in 7th. He's in. Tony Finau at 8th. He's in. Russell Henley at 9. I think he's in. I think the 2 guys in the top 12 that aren't going are going to be Bradley and Harmon. I think Max Homa still gets the nod. And then you got JT here. So if you take JT instead of Harmon or Keegan, who's the next guy? I mean, do you still take Keegan? Do you drop Harmon? Like, you taking Chris Kirk? I don't think that's worth it. Like, there's no upside really to Chris Kirk. He's not going to make the Ryder Cup team. Do you maybe take a flyer on Akshay? Be like, hey, this guy could be around for a while. Do you take a Billy? I mean, I don't know. It's pretty weak if you go down, like, Cam Young's done nothing. Harris English, like, you're not going to that. Like, it's pretty. The top 12 is projected. Does it change? No, it's the same thing. So we'll find that out tomorrow, Tuesday. So as you guys are listening to it, here's my predictions. You got your top 6: Scottie, Xander, Morikawa, Wyndham Clark, Pat Cantlay, Sahith Theegala. They already have Keegan tabbed as a captain, an ASCAP. So I don't think he's going. I think Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Russell Henley, Max Homa, Akshay, and Justin Thomas are the team. Can't wait to see how wrong I am on that. So, yeah, that wraps up. What is the President's Cup? Like September 29th or like 3 weeks out from that? You got to see when that is. I think it's September 27, 28, 29. 27, 28, 29. Jim Furyk and Mike Weir to be the captains. Who's on the international team? Let's look at that. International President's Cup standings. A bunch of Canadians, I think. I think it's in Canada. Hideki, Adam Scott, Sungjae Im, Tom Kim, Jason Day, Byung-Young Hanan. So no Canadians. Literally no Canadians in the top 6. Corey Connors, 7th. He's going. Cam Davis, Minwoo Lee, Taylor Pendrith, Christian Behazenhut, Adam Hadwin round out the top 12. Nick Taylor at 14th. Mackenzie Hughes at 16th. So a couple guys, Adam Svensson down at 22nd. I don't think he would end up on it. Looking at this, Corey Connors at 7th. He's a shoo-in. God, you'd have to think they take Adam Hadwin and Nick Taylor. Skip what? I think Pendrith is at 10th. I think they're taking Minwoo. Who knows? I don't follow the international guys enough. Yeah, I think that's plenty of golf talk. Won't be much golf talk this year anymore. So let's just keep rolling. Time for some passing thoughts. Yeah, a little passing thoughts here. What do we got? Let me scroll through the pictures here. I like to do this live. Ooh, Georgia's won 40 straight regular season games. Probably should have said that in the college football section. All the Scottie Scheffler stuff. My dog I was doing a little cleaning. My dog decided he was going to sit on the rugs I was throwing out today. Boomer just out there getting after it. Who's this big boy? Why didn't I bet on that? Ooh, my garden's been really producing. Got some cukes the other day. That's my hand for comparison. Some big cukes. They've just been rolling. Cukes have been rolling. The green beans have been rolling. Got a couple jalapenos lately. It's just been nice. Those were not going well for me. We got some bell peppers and some sweet peppers ready to go. We pulled a couple carrots. They're short, just little guys. Short, not long, but short. They're fat. Delicious carrots though. So we got those. Hopefully there's some more they'll dig a little deeper, grow some roots. Love my fucking garden. Love my garden. Elsewhere, Brazil is trying to ban Twitter, X, as it is now known. That doesn't seem good. They got that dude who's like a Supreme Court justice who wears the robe and he's bald. He looks like a Bond villain. He looks like the Bond villain from like the old Bonds. He looks like fucking Dr. Evil. Like if Dr. Evil like came out, if Austin Powers came out today, they'd be like, "Oh, Dr. Evil's modeled off that fucking guy." That dude saw Dr. Evil in Austin Powers, was like, "Yep, that's the look. That's what I'm going for." So yeah, you can even they're like banning it out of the app stores, I think. And then the dude's like, even if you use a VPN to say you're not in Brazil, we can fine you like $10,000 a day. But plenty of people are just like, fuck it. We're using VPNs. We're telling people we're using VPNs. And we're going for it. God. Watching Modern Family the other night. So many fucking doorbells. Just fucking riles the dog up. Just doorbells left and right. And the dog is just fucking ready. He's like, who's fucking at my house? Who needs to fucking die? Yeah, die. And then he'd get up there and lick him to death. That would be about his only course of action. I've been seeing this Kamala stuff. And she's talking about on day one. When I'm elected president. On day one. It's like, bitch. You're in the White House. You're probably closer to the president than what the president is. Joe Biden's just hanging out on the beach in Delaware. He doesn't know what fucking planet he's on. You're in the White House. I did see something. And it's like they're always talking about like how fucked up Trump made the country. In the last 16 years, Trump was president for 4 of them. The other 12 were Democrats. It's like, Jesus Christ. Fucking guys. Kamala could do anything she wants right now. She could. She's in office. Okay, that's enough of the politics for me. Oh, God. So, usually I like to fly early morning flights. I think there's less that can go wrong. You know, there's less chance of delays. You know, there's less weather that happens early in the morning. You know, as the day goes on, you can get weather stuff. And, you know, they usually get a plane in place for the next morning. Wasn't able to do that when I flew most recently and had to take a night flight. You know, 6 o'clock first flight, and then the second flight left at 9. It's like, the fucking people. Just talk. That's the other thing I love about morning flights. People get on. A lot of people are still pretty tired. You know, if you're taking a 6 a.m. flight, you've been out, you get up at 2, you probably didn't sleep great the night before, and everyone just shuts the fuck up. Get on these night flights, and everybody's fucking chatty Cathys. Everyone's best friends. Buddy, yeah, see, shut the fuck up. Just want to get on this flight. I want to put my fucking headphones in. I want to watch something I've downloaded to my iPad, and I want you to leave me the fuck alone. Just try it on for size. It's awesome. And you should try it. Gosh. Yeah, and then and the 2 people sitting next to me on this one flight I'm about to talk about, very nice. And I chatted with the one guy a little bit. He was talking about how he's in Vegas for a fancy football draft. But he's like laying it all out to the lady sitting next to him. I'm like catching bits and pieces, and I'm like, and then like I acknowledged him once, and I was like, damn it, nope, no, I'm in. I couldn't help it. I was just trying to be nice, and now I'm wrapped up. That's why I just sit on and shut the fuck up and watch my shows. I won't bother you. You don't have to bother me. But here we go. I had to be a nice guy for once in my life. Doesn't happen too fucking often. But there I was, being nice, and that's why I don't do it. That's why I just want to keep to myself. I watched Wonder Woman 1984. I've got problems. Aside from the plot being kind of confusing, and I just, all of a sudden, Pedro Pascal is like granting people's wishes, and that's like making him strong, but it's like sending the world to fucking destruction. And this thing is like, let's basically cause the end of the world like 6 or 7 times. I watched it for my guy Chris Pine, and because Gal Gadot is gorgeous. But like at one point, Chris Pine, who's, spoiler alert, in case you're really looking into Wonder Woman 1984 that's been out for 3 years. At one point, he's like, oh, that's a jet. This motherfucker's supposed to have been dead since 1918. And he's like, ooh, a jet. Let's take the jet. And he hops in, he's flying a jet. Just no problems. None at all. Takes it right off. Also, they flew a fighter jet from, like, the United States to, like, Africa. I don't think you can do that. But, you know, whatever. But, like, I don't know. He just also knew way too much about 1984. Like, he was way too comfortable. There was, like, a funny part where he was, like, kind of, like, trying on clothes and, like, getting explained things about 1984. And I was like, oh, this is actually funny. This is a good part. And then all of a sudden he's just like, nope, I got it. 5 minutes. I'm ready. I know it's a fucking movie, but just what it is. Excuse me. A couple of other things from my travels. So I was at just a tiny airport, Elmira, New York. And it's nice when you fly there. I get upgraded. I got to play to first class both to that airport and out of it. So half of my flights each way, first class. Nice. Not a lot of people with a lot of flight status out of there. But I'm pretty sure I got there early, and they don't even open, like, you can't even check in till like an hour and a half before your flight, and you can't even go through security till like 50 minutes before the flight leaves. It's incredible. But I'm pretty sure a lady came to the airport to try and check in for her flight the next morning. And the lady who was working the desk just like showed her on her phone. I was like, holy shit, that's incredible. Like, just how would she know? She probably doesn't fly often, if ever. And she's getting something on her phone. You have to go check in. You have to check in. She's like, oh shit, I have to go to the airport? I mean, thank God she was flying out of a place like Elmira where you can just kind of roll up to the airport, hop in, get there, and pop back out. But God, at first I was like, oh, what an idiot. And I was like, no, she's not an idiot. She just never fucking does it. Like, I feel bad for some people who, like, they get to the flying and, like, they're like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do. Like, I was there once. I was young and I've flown enough in my life that it's not like that anymore. But, like, it's fucking overwhelming. I can only imagine what it's like if you're, like, 55, 60 years old. You've only flown, like, 3 times in your life. And then you, like, have to go do this, and, like, they drop you in, like, fucking Charlotte or Atlanta. And you're like, what the fuck do I do? I have 45 minutes for my next flight, and I have to get from A77 to B13. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And you've got moving walkways and fucking trams and shuttles, and you're in Atlanta, and you have to go down underneath and get on the bus, and it's fucking talking, and everyone's fucking jammed in there like sardines. Whew. Couldn't imagine, like, not understanding that. Also, I was at a bar in the Detroit airport, and some dude, like, had a beer or two, and then just bailed. And was apparently telling the guy sitting next to him that he had just gotten out of jail, and was, like, going to Florida or something. And my dude was just like, I ain't fucking paying for drinks. I saw somebody else's bill, apparently. And he's like, fucking $13 for a fucking Bud Light? Fuck off. I've been to jail for less. Oh, what a guy. What a guy. I'm just going to end on this one. I see this every once in a while. That, like, these people will post, like, and it's always the same thing. It's the tough guys. They work out. They're into some sort of martial art. And they're like, oh, sports ball. All you people in your sports ball. Shut the fuck up. Sports ball. You're not cool because you say sports ball. Like, just shut the fuck up. Yeah, so people like watching sports. It's a good time. Sports are awesome. Sports are fucking awesome. And if you don't watch sports, that's fine, man. But, like, sports ball. I don't call you stupid for whatever dumb shit you're fucking into. Just let fucking the people who like sports have it. There's plenty of fucking losers who watch sports and don't accomplish anything with life. Sure. There's also plenty of dudes who are fucking murderers in life that watch a ton of sports. So just shut the fuck up. Go about your business. Tell me your dumb shit about how you're going to protect us from the end of the world. And fuck off. Okay? That's what I got for you. All right. Let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. Just want to say thank you once again, everybody. I appreciate you. So thank you. As always, thank you to producer Kevy. Thank you again to MJ for coming on the last 4 weeks. Really, really appreciate you. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up, ladies and gentlemen. The football season is here. NFL kicks off Thursday night. We got the Packers Friday night in Brazil against those dirty, dirty Eagles. Then we got a full slate on the weekend. We got college football rolling. Baseball's coming down to the stretch. Before you know it, hockey's going to be here. Oh, it's a wonderful time to be a sports fan. I can't wait. I hope you can't wait. I hope you're back next week, because until then, peace!